pandemonium last night. The call of Cory Nidoh as the Wilmington Blue Rocks win their first Mills Cup championship since 1999. Absolutely unbelievable. That's back-to-back nights that a Royals affiliate has won a title. So like yesterday when we visited with Emma Tiedemann, we're going to visit right now with the voice of the Blue Rocks, Cory Nidoh. Cory, we talked to you recently. You were talking about this team, but tell me about last night and something that no one has ever experienced in Wilmington in 20 years.
Well, it was really exciting. Just the amount of excitement from this team. It was a nail-biter from first pitch, a low-scoring affair, but that's what the Blue Rocks have been accustomed to playing all season long. Half of their wins in the regular season were decided by one run. It was 1-0 heading to the ninth inning until Nick Prado came up with an RBI double. Ended up pulling on a 2-0 win, and of course it was the timely hitting and then the pitching that has carried this team all season.
Hey, Cory, that sounds like a great recipe for success, and you had a chance to watch this team during the course of the season. A lot of fun last night. Talk a little bit about how it all finished up, and then you guys had to drive back after the game last night.
Yeah, so it was a pretty cool finish. The Blue Rocks were able to celebrate on the field. The Fayetteville Woodpeckers played the Blue Rocks very well. It went the distance, 5-game series, back and forth, each team alternating wins until the Rocks were able to win 4 and 5. But Tad Ratliff just coming out to close it out, his second year in a row where he's closed out a championship game. Of course, he did it with Lexington last year. And I talked to Tad after the game, and he said he had less pressure on him, obviously, because he's been there, but he wasn't worried when it was 1-0, and then when Prado drove in that run to make it 2-0, Ratliff thought it was a walk in the park. He was just so excited to get those 3 outs, and the pitching again just persevered. Rito Lugo was dominant with 6 scoreless innings, and he had Josh Dye, Colin Snyder come in to bridge the gap to Ratliff.
Yeah, Lugo, obviously a great game. I heard Nick Prado with the outstanding game and a way to put the icing on top of the cake. How was that?
It was really good for Nick. He struggled in that series, only had 1 hit heading into Game 5, and then that big RBI double giving the Rocks some breathing room. But Nick had a really good divisional series, and him and MJ Melendez, the two 20-year-olds who were, let's face it, had some struggles offensively in the regular season, they shined the brightest when the lights were on in the postseason. MJ was the championship series MVP. He hit .333 in the 5-game series with a home run, played stellar defense. So it was really awesome to see MJ and Nick both turn in great postseasons, building on towards next year.
Cory, I know we've talked so much about guys like Nick Prado and MJ Melendez and all the star pitchers that are coming through Wilmington, but I want to hit on a couple of names. You already mentioned, Monty mentioned one, just to learn a little bit more about them. You said Rito Lugo had the 6 shutout innings last night. Tell us about him.
Well, Rito Lugo is a Venezuelan pitcher that the Royals signed last summer. He had 6 strikeouts and 6 scoreless innings. He scattered 6 singles, and his pitches are just devastating. I spoke with pitching coach Steve Luber before the game, and I asked him, I said, what makes Lugo so good? He's not going to overpower these hitters with velocity. And he said that his changeup is lethal. It almost has a tilt like a screwball. He has multiple variations of his slider. And he's a really good story. He left baseball when he was 16 with a death in his family. He became a fisherman and then came back to baseball when he was 19, and he has really turned heads this year, and really excited to watch Rito Lugo progress in his career. And
then Denisher Carrasco had the home run first of the postseason, but I want to ask you about Colin Snyder, 3 strikeouts in an inning in 2/3. Tell us about Colin.
Colin Snyder has been just so reliable for the Blue Rocks this year. He missed a little bit over a month due to an injury, but he came back in the middle of the summer, and he was certainly welcome back. He throws hard, 96, 97, a product out of Vanderbilt. He was a reliever with the Commodores throughout his career, and he came in and was able to bridge the gap after Lugo, and then Josh Dye was able to get out of a runners at the corners 2-out jam in the 8th, and then Tad Ratliff slammed the door shut in the 9th.
And we've heard about these host families in Wilmington, and the fact that a lot of them had a chance to travel with the team and experience the championship.
It was awesome. The host family program in Wilmington, I'm not sure how many minor league teams across the country have such a program, but it is such a huge relief for these players to come to Wilmington. They don't have to scramble to find a cheap apartment or a random hotel room. These families in the great community of Wilmington open up their homes to these players. They feed them. They provide bedding, a roof over their head. And honestly, they're only there for 70 days out of the year. And Bill Mitchell, the director of the program, made a trip down with a handful of the host families, and they were out at the gate greeting the Blue Rocks with the Mills Cup trophy, and it was really a fun celebration down in Fayetteville last night.
We see those families years later in Baltimore when the Royals are there catching up with kids that were once in Wilmington. What a historic night, and Lexington wins it on Friday. You guys win it last night, and a chance for Idaho Falls to win it tonight. Cory, congratulations to you and all the Wilmington Blue Rocks.
Guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right.